Hi, Facebook. How are you? This beautiful community on Saturday morning. Hope you're doing so good. I'm just getting ready to also bring Instagram. Here we go. Hi, Instagram, Facebook. How are you? And when you join, I would love for you to say where you're joining in from. And if you're watching this on replay, would love to say replay, hashtag replay, so we can share this beautiful space together. Hey, Jay, how are you? So happy you're on. And wow, what a week, everyone. What a week. And I wanted to wow, so many of my dreams have come true this week. Like so many of, wow, I truly feel like it is a platinum VIP life that I am living. And I wanted to come on here. Oh, hello. Hey, Andrew. Hello. Oh, so good. I'm so happy to have so many of you on here. And like I said, when you're popping on, just say where you're popping in from. Like, where in the world are you when you are listening to this? And if you're watching this on replay, hashtag replay. So, this is going to be so good. Hey, Jay. Hey, Cameron. I think that's right. Awesome. So let's dive into this. This is going to be a good one today. So I woke up this morning in a completely blissed out state. I woke up and this morning was like, whoa, like, is this my life? Like, overlooking this beautiful pool in the desert. And you know, I met these beautiful people last night that, oh my God, South Africa, that is awesome that you're on here. Hello, Nana. Hello, Pyra. So good that you are on. And wow, I just wanted to come on and talk about how I've created this platinum VIP life and how this, you know, is available to you as well. And so good, Jay. I wanted to come on and share that. So, you know, this past Monday, many of you may not know, I flew back from New Zealand. So I've been traveling the world this year, all over the world: Malta, Russia, Italy, Serbia, London, Hawaii, California, New Zealand, Sydney. Oh, all of the places. And it's been extraordinary. But I wanted to share, most importantly, is when I woke up this morning, I felt in a completely blissed out state. Like I almost didn't feel like I was in reality. Like I almost felt like I was kind of floating. And there was a lot of things, like so many amazing, extraordinary things happening in my life. And I wanted to share this because I feel it is available for you. And I wanted to share this because, you know, I woke up in so much gratitude that everything is manifested so rapidly because I've put in so much work. I've put in so much internal work. I've put in so much where I show up for myself in a way that feels good, in a way that's fun. And I've allowed my thoughts to empower me to feel good. I don't let my thoughts any longer go. It's like the what ifs, it doesn't work. Like, oh my God, this didn't work out. Like everything, I've transformed it into an opportunity, into a place that allows me to really create a VIP platinum life. And as I was all over the world this year, I'm grounded for 3 months or 4 months now, at least, in Arizona. I moved into an apartment, and I haven't lived in an apartment in a long time because I've been traveling the world. So I've been using like Airbnbs or hotels or you know, staying with people that I know. So I have not been even having a place to call home. And I was a little bit worried. I was a little bit like nervous, like, what am I going to do if this like da-da-da? And like the thoughts kind of came, and then I go, this gets to be fun. This gets to be amazing. This gets to be exciting. And I did not want to have a car. So since that, I decided to live somewhere that I didn't need, where I could walk a lot of places and everything. And I wanted to come on and share something that I felt really courageous about, something that took me a lot of courage to really act upon. And, you know, as I was sitting there and like getting in my little apartment and everything settled, I was like having some trouble carrying things. I was having to get boxes delivered, and I don't know, a lot of things came through, and what I realized is like there were all these challenges, right? There could have been all these things that were challenges. Like it could have been challenging to move into a new place. It could have been challenging to like figure out the grocery store. It could have been challenging to figure out like how I'm going to get around, how am I going to meet friends, how am I going to like integrate back into having a home instead of like moving every couple of weeks somewhere new in the world. But I wanted to say like how all of this really happened. Like when I really sat there in a moment and I was like, how did this all happen? How did this all get to happen to me? And I woke up with that. And I woke up with that feeling of like, wow, like how did I build all of this courage to like just move somewhere I don't know? And like I have like a meeting and all of these things. Like how did I build that courage? And that's what I really wanted to dive deep into here, is building that courage. And, you know, when I look at my life, when I look at what's happened, and a moment in time when I moved in, example, just a few days ago, I was sitting there like, how am I going to meet friends? How am I going to integrate? Like how all these things. And then I realized like, you know what? I am just going to decide to smile to everyone I meet and say, hi, how are you doing? And honestly, when I did that from like the most soulful, heartful place, what I realized is that I started receiving a lot of things. A lot of people started automatically like, oh, do you want to do this? Oh, like I have a coffee machine, or oh, I have whatever for you. Like I can give this to you or whatever because you just moved here. And we started sharing a connection. We started sharing a deep layer. And when that happened, I realized, wow, this whole like you have to struggle and you have to like make it really hard and everything in order to like build this courage you wish you had to do your dream. Like I was like, it gets to be easy. And that was like the biggest message. And from all of this, that it gets to be easy. Hey, Susie, I'm so happy that you joined. Oopsies, I was waving to people. But from this place, when I realized it gets to be easy to build your courage, it gets to be easy to move to a new location, to a new state, to a new country that you've never been to. And it gets to be easy to build that courage, to show up as yourself. It gets to be easy. And that's so refreshing and empowering. And when I was sitting there in that moment of moving into this new place and the grocery store and all the things that could have been like, oh my God, how am I going to create a platinum lifestyle from doing this? Like, how am I going to create this? How is this going to come through me? And, you know, I just simply said, I'm going to smile and say, hi, how are you? To so many, everyone I met, I was just going to say that. And when I did that, that created extraordinary results in my life. It created people like wanting to go to brunch with me, people wanting to give me things if I didn't have them because I was just moving from outside of the country or moving back here. People were desiring to help me because they were seeing the importance that I was genuinely standing in my truth. I was genuinely coming here to further following my dreams and to further get an education and further my business for helping others have huge transformations. And when I started sharing this, when I started going into this, and even though it was uncomfortable, it was very uncomfortable to share my truth. I was very like, oh, is this too much? What are people going to think? All of these things. When people started doing this, I was like, wow, you know, and from that space, all of the VIP lifestyles happened. Like I've been getting my boxes carried up for me by an amazing human that works downstairs. I like found a new coffee shop that's like a local one. I found the vegan place and the nutritionist that does it and all of these things. And it's not that I sat there and was like, I don't know if I have the courage. I don't know if I can do this. I'm not sure how this is going to show up. And even like, oh, I'm going to be on a plane, and then I have a meeting, and then I don't have a car, but I have all of these things that could have went into my mind, could have went into, oh my God, how am I going to create this dream? How am I going to create a life? Even forget the dreams. How am I going to create a life that feels fulfilling, a life that feels fun and in flow? Like, how am I going to do that? Instead of going to that, instead of like, oh, this courage and all of these things of how I'm going to do that, I just decided I was going to show up as the best Colleen that I could. And in every moment of every day, whoever I met, whoever I was with, I wanted to show up as present, as wholesome, as true as I could. And even with that, people were so interested in my first book, Live Your Truth, when my next one's coming out soon. And people were like, oh my gosh, I want to buy your book and all of these things. And I was like, wow, like, and again, I'm like attracting platinum people, VIP people that are interested in my work. And, you know, it's not that I was in there like, oh, how do I build the courage to say this? How do I like all of those? I just came back and just showed up as the best Colleen that I knew to be in that moment. And that's it, you guys. That's girls, humans. That is it. The truth is to show up as the best version of yourself in every moment when you're with people. And when you do that, magical things happen. The coach, the consultant, the friend, the food, the nutritionist, the clothing, it shows up. It just shows up. And that is the platinum lifestyle. So let me see. So let me know if this is resonating, if you're watching this on replay and what you're feeling. I love to know. So let me see here. Your energy vibration was 100% aligned with your higher self. Love your energy. Yes, Lyron. I hope I'm saying that. Cameron, I think it was. That's exactly it. And from that space, even I've had the pathway to evolutionary leadership come through, and all these things, and I've attracted extraordinary leaders that are coming through and allowing this transformational space. And you know, it could be nerve-wracking to say, this is what I do, this is the work that I believe in, and this is the transformations I empower other people to go through. And many of you I know that are in the online space, or many of you that have businesses, or maybe you're a wife, a husband, a sister, a brother. It can be like all of these things of, how do I show up? How do I respond to this? And putting all of these things with your mind of, how do I really get this across? When really, it's just connecting to your truth. It's just connecting to what's within you. It's just restoring to that natural light that you carry within you. That is building the courage. That allows you to act on the courage you already have. There really is, I labeled this, how to build courage to finally act on following your dreams, so you can live a platinum VIP lifestyle. But really, the courage already exists in you. The courage is already there. And that's what's so beautiful about this. And that's what I love so much about these teachings, and the things that come through me, and the things that leaders are awakening and coming through to allow co-creation of their gifts to come alive in the world. They're really allowing this embodiment to come through of an evolutionary leader, where you shift the focus from just business economic to the human economy. When you really deeply get this, when you start to see that, you can show up just as who you are, just the best version of who you can be in that moment, just the best version of you. And I wanted to share something. So I was recently at a retreat, actually, and there were extraordinary, soulful human beings there. And I'm very spiritual, or I'm a spiritual path, I should say. And, you know, I'm also one for academics as well. I have a really diverse background with this, and a business background with corporate America. Oh, Debs, I'm so happy that you are able to join, and this is so good. But I wanted to say, back to this, I was in this retreat with really, really high vibrational, very tapped in spiritual people that have been on the spiritual journey for their spiritual journey for a long time. And my spiritual journey, I've maybe been on for about a year, but I mean, a little longer, but I mean, these are like years and decades of people. And, you know, I'm sitting there when I'm like in my academics and caught in this, and, you know, I sat there like, oh, who am I to be here? who am I to sit here and like be in this realm when this isn't my place? But then I caught myself and I said, you know what? I'm going to show up as the best Colleen that I can at that retreat. I am going to show up in full capacity, completely surrendering to what the teachers and what the people there were doing and what they were requesting us. And I was really going to surrender to that. And even though it was totally foreign to me, it's a totally different language. We're talking about a totally different retreat that's nothing like that within maybe the realm that I'm used to. And it could have been very uncomfortable. But you know what? I showed up as the best Colleen I could then. And I just sat there to myself and I said, you know what? How much gratitude I have for myself and compassion I have for myself, that I allowed myself to be in a room of people that have been on a spiritual journey for decades. And I showed up as a girl who's maybe been a year or two in the best version. And you know what? I made some amazing, amazing connections, platinum connections, I would say, like VIP dream connections that you could desire with extraordinary leaders in the world. But you know what? There was no, I need to build the courage. I have these blocks. I have all the things. It was just, I'm going. And then when I was there, I didn't let my thoughts go into the why am I here? Do I deserve to be here? All of the things. I just showed up as the best version. And so many transformations took place inside of me. Another example I wanted to share with you of how to build courage to finally act on following your dreams is, as many of you may or may not know, I quit my job in January with corporate America and started Colleen Gallagher International, where I now have employees, I have multiple programs, and almost another book coming out soon. And you know, it could have been really scary. It was really scary. I remember actually, I was sitting there in my apartment complex my flat before I was leaving, and I had feelings of a full-blown anxiety attack. I was bawling, I couldn't breathe, all of these things. And this was me following my dreams. I'm like quitting corporate to travel the world and help other people, empower other people to live their truth, empower other people to rise up and get over their story, because I was so caught in my story for 10 years with cancer. So caught in my story that I couldn't do anything unless I was making tons of money. I was so caught in that story, so caught in it. And so I really was like, I'm going to do this. But I was shaking there with anxiety, the panic attack, before the day I did my dreams. And I want to tell you this story because there wasn't a moment where it was easy. There wasn't one moment that was, this is the moment where it makes complete sense. This is the moment that it made logical sense. But I want to tell you what did make sense of building that courage to that moment to really trust my intuition. As I was going to work every day, hating it, hating my life, I would come back super stressed out. I would come back so sad. I would come back like empty almost. And I was like, this just can't. And I was 23, I'm 24 now. I was 24 then too, but between 23 and 24. And I was like, this cannot be my life. I will not choose this to be my life forever. I said, I can't do it. I will not choose it. I will find a way that will empower me to live the life of my dreams, to live a VIP platinum life where I can make a lot of money while I am empowering others. I can drink wine while I do yoga. There was no rules anymore. I was like, forget the rules. Fuck the rules. And I wanted to share this story with you of New Zealand and being there and that courage of before I started here and all of these little things of courage. But when I did that in New Zealand, I was sitting there with full feelings of this as I'm starting. You know, I came back to my center and I said, you know what, Colleen? Your mission and your vision is so much bigger than this moment. And this one moment of compassion, this one moment of where you allowed yourself to go into an anxiety attack because of the unknown, because you aren't sure of the outcome, because you can't control the outcome because it's the unknown. Wow. When I went into that place, what an extraordinary difference it made in my life. What an extraordinary difference when I saw no longer, what if this will work, that it cannot not work. What if I switched immediately? What if it doesn't work? To it cannot not work. Because I'm so devoted to my mission and vision, to the evolution of humanity, to really shift culture and transform leaders. And I knew that deep down. I knew that. And in that moment, when I was sitting there in New Zealand, before I started traveling the world, the company, I never thought, how am I going to build this courage? But how am I going to get over these blocks? How am I going to get over these limitations? If I don't know how to publish a book on Amazon, I don't know how to run funnels, I don't know all of these things. Again, I didn't allow it to happen. Instead, I simply set an intention, I set a goal, I set a vision, I set a dream, and then I took action to make that happen. And that is what created me to fly in VIP. I mean, be in the lounges, be in the first classes, you know, meeting extraordinary humans that design clothes and from all over the world, having the most extraordinary wine. That intention and that feeling is how I was able to build the courage. That was the key, is I never sat there and allowed the fear to overcome my commitment to my vision. And even deeper than that, I want to talk about this as well. Let me know if this is resonating with you. And if you're watching on a replay, I would love to know. And if you have questions, let me know. I'll read through some of these comments. Rachel, hello. How are you? So good. So many of you here. I love this. I'm just waving. Hello, hello. Fear is an illusion. Yes, Stubbs, it is definitely an illusion. And I love that. So I'm just going to take a deep breath. If you have any questions, let me know when you're watching. I know I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm going into a lot of deep stuff. So let me know if there's questions, you have personal things I'd love to answer. So my next part of this that I wanted to go into is not only from when I first started to when I first now I'm here in Arizona, there was a lot of up-leveling and courageous decisions I made along the way. There was a lot of investments that I've made that are 7,000, 10,000 plus investments that I was making, which was way more money than I had ever at that time thought about investing. That was almost like an unfathomable amount of money. I think it was actually unfathomable amount to be like, oh, that's an investment. That was unfathomable. Like that was really at a different realm. So how did I build the courage to make those investments to create a VIP lifestyle? So let's talk about that. I wanted to say that I was so always deeply committed to my vision. I was so deeply committed to my purpose. I was so deeply committed to what I wanted to create for the evolution of humanity and what I wanted to help others be able to create for the evolution of humanity. From my background in business, sales, the online experience, now a global technology and development experience, my writing a book experience, I wanted to empower leaders who knew they were here to impact the evolution of humanity, who knew they were here to lift the vibration of humanity, who knew they were here to do something amazing, to help humanity be better. That is what I devoted my life to. And when I sat there looking at these investments of, oh my gosh, this is so much money, how am I going to do this? I always came back to my truth. My first book, Live Your Truth. I always came back to living my truth. And my truth was always greater than that dollar amount. And I'm not saying that those dollar amounts still aren't like, I've done a lot of work. I've done a lot of inner work to allow dollar figures from $7, $10,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. I have done a lot of work to actually understand what that feels like, what that means, how that it feels to embody that. But instead of going into the fear of investment, or this is what I'm receiving, let's say even this is what I'm receiving that. That's a huge thing that we've been programmed. Like, could I even receive that? Am I worthy of receiving that? How do I even receive that amount? Is that even a fathomable amount to receive at one time? And the courage it takes to look within and look at your money patterns. The courage it takes to look within and really acknowledge your money patterns. And you know what? Again, I never allowed the fear to be more committed than to my vision. And from that place, that is how, that, of course, when I did the work around this, when I really understood that the courage around this and the courage to really dig deep and understand this relationship with money, understand this relationship with how $5,000, $10,000, $30,000, $50,000, how that amount of money can impact humanity, can evolve humanity, how putting that money within yourself and also receiving that money to allow others to invest in themselves, to allow others to fully commit to their vision and fully be divinely purposeful and understand that this is what they're here to do. That is not just courage, it's your natural state of being. It's the natural way that you're allowing yourself to show up in the world, to co-create with your life, and just be present. It's the natural way for you to truly sit there and say, oops, there's so many. It's the natural way for you to truly sit there and know that money is your natural state. To know that receiving and giving of large amounts of income is your natural state. And to have the courage to say, you know what, back to my thing, I can make a shit ton of money, or I am making a shit ton of money while I am living a VIP lifestyle, while I'm divinely living into my purpose to impact the world with my gifts. That is a divine sentence. That is a powerful sentence. That is something that you get to say. That is something you're allowed to say. That is something you get the courage to be able to say. So that was something else that took a lot of work for me to say, because I was like, oh, you can't say how much money you have. Like, that's too much. You can't like talk about that. And you're just supposed to be successful. And, you know, you can't fly first class because like your money should be going towards other things. And maybe first class is not your thing. Maybe you'd much rather have name brand clothing. Like, that's personally not one of my things, but maybe that's what's important to some people. And that is okay. When you are playing in this realm, you get to choose and be courageous about that. And you get to speak your truth. You get to live your truth from that place. Oh, so anyway, I'm going to go through, let's see, I see a lot of things here. Debs, we need to talk one-on-one if it's at a vision of a worldwide community that helps people heal and awaken. I know you'll be part of this journey. Debs, that's awesome. Yes, we can definitely. Sippin, I'm not sure your name, but anyway, okay, so the last part of this, so good, that I wanted to share with all of you, of how to build the courage. And this is my last part that I wanted to share with you all of a story. And all of these things that have happened, I'm sharing these stories with you to see that how you can look within your own life and connect the dots to this in your life as well. Like how you can see these moments in time that were really hard for me and how I was able to get over them. I'm sharing this with you so you can start to see how this could be your life. So the last part is I'm currently furthering my education as well. And it's with a lot of researchers, engineers, and academics, which is, again, not my expertise. Again, not the place that I'm used to playing in. Again, not the place that is maybe the most familiar to me. So I was a little bit nervous. What if I'm rejected? What if I'm this? All of the things, right? Like so many, like what if people think I'm crazy? I have like half of my head shaved. Like these are real things that were going on in my mind. And when I did this, when I went into this and I sat there, I said, you know what, Colleen, you could sit here and think all of these things, or you could choose to show up at the best version of yourself. So what I did is I got up. When I got there, I went and shook the hand of the woman who runs the program that I do. I made a meeting with her the first week that I got back. I made sure some of the students that were there, I made an effort to talk to them and make sure I went into like the little study place that we have to introduce myself. And you know what, even though what I'm doing and what they're doing is like two separate worlds, like we're kind of like aliens to each other because our languages are so different in the things that we're doing. But you know what our truth was? You know what I did is I sat there and found the common denominator to build the courage. I said, you know what, it's so amazing that we're both here and we're really passionate about our purposeful work that we're here to do. And when I started talking in that way, when I started showing up in that way, when I just said these small things, these are just small little tweaks I said, Guess what happened? Magic VIP Platinum Lifestyles showed up for me. People started wanting to know more about my work. People wanted to understand what I was doing. People wanted to feel into this vortex that I've created, this place that I've created. And so I just wanted to share that with you because it took a lot of courage. It took a lot of things for me to divinely stand in this power. And it didn't just happen overnight. It's a constant work. It's a constant place that I get to work at, and a constant place that I feel good with working into, because I am more committed to my vision than I am to the fear that something will not work. I am more committed to my dreams and the evolution of humanity and empowering leaders to step into their evolutionary badass rebel leadership than I am to the fear. And when I do that, I can always build the courage, because I look back on the past and I'll say, you know what? I did this before. I was able to show up at an undergrad degree with professors and things I didn't know. I was able to show up to meetings at a soul conference or a soul retreat that I've been only like on this journey for a year, but there's people who have been there for decades. But I showed up as the best version of myself. And when I started doing those things, I'm like, oh, well, I've done that before. Oh, well, I've done that before. Now I'm just doing it on the next scale. Now I'm just taking it to a higher place. And when I look at that, when I look backwards and I can say, you know what, I've actually done this before in a smaller way or in a little bit of a different way, or, you know, I actually did move somewhere where I didn't know people before. And how did I act when I did that? Or what did I do then? And how did I create my schedule to make things flow? And, you know, I look back on my past, and when I do that, I then connect the dots of how I can recreate that to create a positive experience for me now. And when you look at your whole life, we all have patterns, we all have habits, we all have consistent patterns. So most of the time when you're doing something right now, hey Jeff, most of the time when you're doing something right now, you've already done it in the past in a smaller area. Very rarely have you done something that's completely unknown. Even when I started my company, like I quit my job before and moved across the world to New Zealand because I wanted to experience living internationally. And that was the best way for me to do that. So when I did that, that courage came from me seeing that I lived in 3 USA states before, that I did study abroad before. But again, that was my platinum VIP lifestyle goal, is that's what I wanted. So don't compare your dream to my dream. Don't say like, oh my God, I need to travel or I need to whatever. No. Maybe yours is researching. Maybe your job is just working in corporate America. Maybe your job is maybe your dream is just to, I don't know, be an artist, like whatever it is. Don't compare your dream to my dream. The point that I'm trying to make with all these things with building the courage is that if you've done like a solo, let's say you're a musician and you just got a big gig, most likely it's the unknown, but you've done how many gigs by yourself in your garage pretending you were there? So many. You've done that so many times, right? So from that place, like when you're acting from that place, you can see you already have the courage for the next step that you need to take. It already exists within you. It's already there. I put how to build the courage, but really your courage is already within you so deeply, so divinely, so powerfully. It's waiting for you to unleash it. Your dreams, your platinum life, your VIP life, all of the things that you want are waiting for you. Like they are there in reach. They're waiting for you to show up and to act on them. And all of this video of what I've shared with you are the small things I've done to build my courage to act on it and to trust in the process and to know that I will always be more committed to my vision of the evolution of humanity, transforming leaders and shifting culture than I am to the fear. And when that happens, when that commitment actually comes from your heart and actually comes from a place that you believe it, of course, your VIP, platinum, amazing, everything life is going to show up at the greatest capacity. It would be impossible not to. It would be impossible for it to not. So let me look if there's any questions. Let me know. Let me see here. There's a lot. So we receive many teachers and guides in our lives to help, but ultimately you can only help yourself. They will want. Yes, thank you. That was good. Hey, how are you? Hello. Oopsies. Sorry, I shifted this again. How are you? So good. I'm so happy so many of you joined and so many of you are loving this. This is amazing. So anyway, any questions on a lot of this? I feel like I've given a lot, I've said a lot with how to build courage to finally act on following your dreams so you can attract the platinum VIP life that you desire. And yeah, I gave you so many personal examples of things that made me really uncomfortable, things that made me really nervous, things that like made me like, oh my God, what am I doing right now? Kind of moments, but I was always more committed to my dream. I was always more committed to my vision. So I just want to share all of this. The replay will be here, so you can watch #replay. I'll share some things. If you're watching it and you have any questions, feel free to message me. I also, as I said, I have my Pathway to Evolutionary Leadership where I dive deep into a lot of this. So if you are on here and you are a human who knows you are meant to do epic shit in this world, you are meant to like frickin' transform this world with your gifts. You are here to create a massive impact and income, to use that income to help better society. Then let's message me. We can open the conversation of seeing if you'd be a good fit. I only work with very hand-selected few clients, and I only work with a very hand-selected clients because I want to give them a full attention, and also the deep work that we do together to really allow them to step into their evolutionary leadership, to really allow them to use their gifts, to really allow the clients that I work with to do badass, conscious, epic, amazing shit for the evolution of humanity. That is what we do. That's where we get to play. That's the innovation we go into. And it's all about taking that next level of courage to create the next level platinum VIP life for you. And I'm super excited. So if this resonates with you, definitely reach out, message me so we can get this. And I'll look. So Debs, I needed this today. Oh, that's so good. Please check out This Is My Passion, My Vision. So good. Yeah, Debs, DM me after and we can have a chat. Debs, definitely message me and we can open a conversation or a container for the conversation. So I'm so happy I was able to share so much courage with all of you and all of things from my very personal life that go on real time, and so excited for this community and this tribe that we exist here together in this space. I'm so happy for it. And it's just amazing. So if you joined, thank you for joining, and keep doing badass, epic things in the world to make this place a better place for all of us. So excited, and have an extraordinary day or night when you are receiving this.